Stop trying to fix your old life. It's not broken, it's closed. The version of you who kept waiting, overthinking, and playing small, that timeline doesn't exist anymore. Your parallel self already made the shift while you were sleeping. They took the risk. They said the thing. They became the person you're still trying to become. The only reason you feel lost right now is because you're standing at the door of a new reality, but you're still looking for the keys to your old house. Listen to me carefully. That job you're holding on to, the one that pays the bills but drains your soul, the one where you wake up every morning feeling like something is missing, that job was never meant to be your destination. It was a bridge. And bridges are meant to be crossed, not lived on. But you're still standing in the middle of that bridge, scared to move forward, scared to go back. And that's why you feel stuck. That person you keep thinking about, the one who left or the one you left or the one who never really chose you, they belong to a different version of you. A version who didn't know their worth yet. A version who accepted breadcrumbs and called it love. But you're not that person anymore. Your parallel self already closed that chapter. Why can't you? That routine you're forcing yourself to follow. Waking up late, scrolling first thing in the morning, waiting for motivation that never comes. That routine was designed by an old identity. An identity that was comfortable with small dreams, small actions, small results. But your energy has changed. Your frequency has lifted. And now that old routine feels like wearing shoes that are 3 sizes too small. It's painful. And the pain is not a punishment. The pain is a signal that you have outgrown your own life. Do you know why you feel so exhausted lately? Not physically tired, but that deep bone-level exhaustion? That's because you're trying to be 2 people at once. Part of you wants to run toward your new timeline, but another part of you keeps looking back, keeps hoping, keeps waiting for the old world to feel like home again. And that war inside you, that's what's draining your energy. Do you know why nothing excites you anymore? Because excitement comes from expansion, and you cannot expand inside a container that is already cracked. Your old job, your old city, your old friendships, your old habits, they were containers for an older version of you, and that version no longer exists. So now you're trying to pour a new ocean into an old cup. It will never fit. It was never supposed to fit. Do you know why you feel angry or numb or lost? Because your soul already moved into the next chapter, but your mind is still rereading the last one. Your intuition has already packed its bags and left, but your fear is still unpacking boxes in a house that has already been sold. That's why nothing makes sense anymore. That's why you cry for no reason. That's why you feel like screaming sometimes. That's not a breakdown. That's a breakthrough wearing heavy boots. Let me tell you something hard. The old timeline didn't collapse because you failed. The old timeline collapsed because it completed its mission. It gave you the lessons. It gave you the scars. It gave you the proof of who you don't want to be anymore. And now it is closed. Permanently. There is no going back. Not because the door is locked, but because the door doesn't even exist anymore. You are not losing anything valuable. You are being removed from places, people, and patterns that were never meant to hold the version of you that is waking up right now. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels lonely. Yes, it feels like you're floating with no ground beneath your feet, but that floating, that's not falling, that's flying. You just forgot what flying feels like because you've been crawling for so long. So stop begging closed doors to open. Stop texting people who already said goodbye with their silence. Stop applying for jobs that feel like a step backward. Stop trying to feel motivated about things your soul has already quit. Stop romanticizing the past. The past is not your home. It was just a classroom, and class is over. Your parallel self is not looking back. Your parallel self is not wondering what if. Your parallel self is not waiting for an apology or an explanation or the right moment. Your parallel self already took the messy, scary, imperfect action. While you were sleeping, they were building. While you were overthinking, they were moving. While you were waiting for proof, they became the proof. The old timeline is closed, not because you were rejected, but because you were promoted. And promotions always feel uncomfortable before they feel good. Now let me tell you something that might sting a little. You keep waiting for the right time. You keep waiting to feel ready. You keep waiting for the fear to disappear before you take action. And while you're waiting, your parallel self is already living your dream life. Not because they're luckier than you, Not because they have more money, more time, more connections, or more talent. No, they have exactly what you have. The same 24 hours, the same fears, the same doubts, the same voice in their head telling them, you can't do this. The only difference? They took action anyway. Let me explain what really happened. On the exact same day that you decided to wait and see, your parallel self decided to try and fail. On the exact same morning that you hit snooze and scrolled on your phone, they got up early, shaky hands, racing heart, no clarity, and started. On the exact same night that you talked yourself out of sending that message, making that call, posting that video, launching that thing, they pressed send. Their hands were shaking too. Their voice was cracking too. Their stomach was in knots too, but they did it, and you didn't. And that one action, that one moment of courage, it created a ripple, a small one at first, then bigger, then bigger. Now they're not even the same person anymore. Every small win gave them confidence. Every failure gave them data. Every no moved them closer to a yes. Meanwhile, you're still standing exactly where you were 6 months ago. Not because you're incapable, but because you're waiting for permission that was never coming. Here's the hard truth. Your parallel self didn't have more clarity than you. They had more trust. They trusted that action creates clarity. They trusted that motion creates emotion. They trusted that they would figure it out along the way. And you wanted the full map before taking the first step. You wanted guarantees. You wanted proof that it would work. But that's not how shifting works. You don't see the path and then walk. You walk and then the path reveals itself. Do you know why you feel so far behind right now? Because you're comparing your chapter 1 to their chapter 10. You're looking at their results, the confidence, the money, the peace, the alignment. And you're forgetting that they started messy. They started confused. They started scared. They started exactly where you are right now. The only difference is they started. And you're still thinking about starting. Your parallel self already made 100 mistakes while you were still planning your first move. They already got rejected 50 times while you were still perfecting your pitch. They already embarrassed themselves, failed publicly, looked stupid, and kept going. And now they're so far ahead that you can't even see them anymore. Not because they ran, but because you never left the starting line. And let me be really honest with you. That voice in your head that says it's too late, that's fear wearing a mask. That voice that says, what if I fail? That's ego trying to keep you safe. That voice that says, I'll do it tomorrow? That's your old timeline trying to pull you back. But your parallel self doesn't listen to those voices. They hear them, they feel them, and they do it anyway. Because they know something you haven't learned yet. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is an invitation. Fear means you're standing at the edge of your growth, and the only way out is through. Your parallel self already made the shift, not because they're special, but because they decided that staying the same was more painful than failing. They decided that regret hurt worse than rejection. They decided that a messy start was better than a perfect plan that never launches. So where does that leave you? Right here, right now, with a choice. You can keep waiting for the version of you who feels ready. But that version will never come. Readiness is not something you wait for. Readiness is something you create by taking action when you're not ready. Your parallel self proved that. They weren't ready. They did it anyway. And now they're ready for things you can't even imagine yet. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not incapable. You are simply disconnected from the version of you who already figured it out. And the only way to reconnect? Stop planning. Stop waiting. Stop analyzing. Start moving. Start messy. Start scared. Start stupid if you have to. Just start, because your parallel self is already living your future. The question is not whether you can catch up. The question is, how much longer will you make yourself wait? So now you know. The old timeline is closed. Your parallel self already made the shift, and you've been standing in between, frozen, waiting for something that's never coming. But here's the question you've been avoiding. What are you actually waiting for? Because let's be honest with each other for a minute. You've been saying, I'll start tomorrow for months, years maybe. You've been waiting for a sign, for motivation, for the right time, for more money, for more confidence, for permission, for proof, for someone to tell you that you're ready. But none of that is coming. Not because the universe is cruel, but because those things don't arrive before the action. They arrive during the action. They arrive because of the action. You're waiting for the rain to stop before you go outside. But the rain is not the obstacle. The rain is the point. Growth happens in the discomfort. Shifts happen in the mess. Your parallel self didn't wait for clear skies. They danced in the storm. So now you have a choice. And I need you to really feel this. Choice number 1. You can stay where you are. You can keep replaying the old timeline in your head. You can keep hoping things will magically change without you changing. You can keep waiting for your parallel self to come rescue you. But that's not how it works. Staying here means watching their life get better while yours stays the same. It means another year from now looking back with regret. It means lying in bed at night wondering what if. It means carrying the weight of your own unexpressed potential. And that weight, it gets heavier every single day. Not lighter, heavier. Because every day you don't act, you're not staying still. You're actually moving backward. Because the world is moving. Everyone else is moving. Your parallel self is moving. The only direction standing still goes is behind. Choice number 2. You can shift. Right now. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Not when you have a plan. Right now. In this moment. You can decide that the pain of staying the same has finally become greater than the fear of change. You can decide that you're done negotiating with your own excuses. You can decide that your parallel self is not your competition. They're your instruction manual. They already did it. So you can too. But shifting doesn't require a huge dramatic gesture. That's what movies taught you. Real shifts are small. Real shifts are quiet. Real shifts happen in a single moment of choice that most people won't even notice. Here's exactly how you do it. Step 1. Stop looking back. No more checking their profile. No more rereading old conversations. No more romanticizing how things used to be. No more hoping that old job, old person, old version of yourself will suddenly feel right again. It won't. The door is closed. Turn around. Step 2. Ask the question. Right now. Say it out loud if you have to. What would my parallel self do in the next 5 minutes? Not tomorrow. Not next week. The next 5 minutes, the answer will come fast. Too fast. Your brain will try to argue. It will say, that's scary, or that's not realistic, or you're not ready. Ignore it. The first answer is always the right answer. Your parallel self is not overthinking. They're acting. Step 3. Do it before your brain catches up. You have a small window. About 5 seconds. That's how long you have between an impulse and your fear killing it. In those 5 seconds you move. You send the message. You make the call. You write the post. You throw away the old thing. You say the hard thing. You take the first ugly step. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Step 4. Do it again. One action won't change your life, but one action changes your identity. And your identity changes everything. After you take that first action, you are no longer the person who waits. You are now the person who moves. And that person, they take another action, and another. Not because it's easy, but because they've proven to themselves that they can. That's the secret. Your parallel self didn't have more willpower. They just had more proof. And proof comes from action. So give yourself proof today. One small, ugly action. That's all it takes to become someone new. Step 5. Burn the bridge behind you. Don't leave yourself a way back. Don't keep the old resume saved. Don't keep the old contact in your phone. Don't keep the old habit as a backup plan. Backups keep you stuck. Burn it. Delete it. Throw it away. Close the tab. Unfollow the account. Block the number. Whatever it is, make it hard to go back. Because your brain will try. Your fear will try. Make it so annoying to go back that moving forward becomes the only option. You see, shifting isn't about becoming a new person overnight. Shifting is about making one decision so powerful that the old you can't survive it. One decision that changes the trajectory. One decision that your parallel self already made. And here's what no one tells you. The shift doesn't feel like fireworks. It doesn't feel like angels singing.